What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we got Steven Jackson's reaction to Skip Bayless. Now, as we all know, Steven Jackson, anytime he feels like one of these media personalities is disrespecting a player in any sport, and he feels like you haven't played or you aren't at the level where you can say certain things or even critique their games, he's going to come at you. And Skip Bayless has been the target of this, and Jalen Rose actually cooked him for this because Skip was talking like certain players weren't good and they're trash and all that, and Jalen was like, no, look, these guys are at the highest level, so there's no way they can be trash. And so I think a lot of that, and the players not much go into it. So back to Steven Jackson, he comes and he's talking about that Damar Hamlin injury and the way Skip tweeted about it. And he also spoke about if this was Tom Brady, Skip would have minced his words better. Check out what he had to say, and I'll be right back.
You know what's crazy? It was Tom Brady. I guarantee you would have chose your words wisely. Somebody that's been in journalism for over 40 years knows exactly what to say and how to say it. We ain't talking about an athlete that went into journalism. We talking about somebody that's been in journalism their whole life. He never was an athlete. Not once was he an athlete. So journalism is his thing, just like basketball is my thing. He knows what he's saying and when he's saying it. He's not getting no pass for this. But now everybody on his ass, now you want to come with a lame-ass apology. And don't come on TV and say, we can't be insensitive to the situation. You wrote that tweet. Nobody else. Life happens out there. Y'all stop.
And Matt Barnes goes on to say that somebody's actually going to slap Skip for some of his takes on TV one day, especially when it's pertaining to sensitive topics, and he's discrediting these athletes' names, the way they eat, the way that they're getting endorsements. There is a certain part of media that can affect public perception and kind of destroy the person's name. So when he's saying Russell Westbrook and stuff like that, I mean, people can say it's personal, but it is a business, and that's kind of become a thing. And you don't think these companies see this? Some of these companies are affiliated, like Fox Sports is under Disney now. So imagine how many companies are affiliated that offer endorsements and things of the sort. So when Skip speaks like that, yeah, these guys can get sensitive. And even in this situation, when a guy when it's life or death, you kind of just, it's not wrong with just saying you're sending your prayers, even if it sounds cliche and it sounds like you just saying what everybody else is saying. You don't put yourself out there for something insensitive, talking about a game. That is just tone deaf at its finest. Like you don't know, you don't know time and place at all. So I'm glad Steven Jackson said that, man, and I'm also glad that he brought up the fact that Skip said we can't be insensitive, and you put that tweet out there. That, I hate that kind of deflection, because that's what someone will do when they don't want to have to come out their mouth and just apologize and say, I was wrong. For him, I see with the Shannon Sharp incident and this incident, it's hard for him to say, I'm wrong, I made a mistake. Because even in his tweet last night, he said that he's sorry you misinterpreted. He always pushes back on the viewer or on the person intaking the content that they have somehow misread it, or they're not smart enough as like a third grader to see or decipher what he was trying to say. And we saw that you said, which seems so irrelevant now, but you also put the fact that you put some importance on the game at that moment is the whole problem. The game is not significant right in that moment when a person's life is in the balance. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the backlash is coming from, Skip. I know you probably don't care, and you said what you meant what you said. Good. But this is why the backlash is coming, in case you were wondering. In case you was wondering, and I don't think you would have said nothing like that about Tom Brady. You would have just said, my prayers with Tom. He's my favorite. He's the best. You would have just kept it that way. You wouldn't even veer towards when the game will be completed, the logistics of the season. The fact of the matter is, yes, the business aspect of the NFL will go on regardless of the outcome of this, but in the actual moment, that's what I keep going back to. It was still happening in real, like it's still happening now, so don't get it mixed up, but like we were seeing the initial scenario play out in real time when he went to his keyboard and tweeted that. We were still waiting to hear something, and that's where Skip gets mixed up at right there. Now, is he sorry? I mean, I can't say that he is, because he never actually issued an apology for saying what I said was wrong. And if he don't feel like it was wrong, okay, stand on that. Stand over there, but be ready for the backlash that comes from it. I just want to see journalism at the top level, and I want that same energy kept, whether it's the last practice player on the team or whether it's Tom Brady. You disrespected Shannon, and Shannon didn't show up today, and that's just facts. I don't think nobody in their right mind don't feel like Shannon didn't show up because of what Skip said, because he knew Skip was in a mess. He might be tired of cleaning up some of Skip's messes that he's making all the time, and going on the show and smoothing it over, because I think Shannon is looking at his brand right now, and at times the way Skip is and the way Shannon is, Shannon has guests coming on his show. Shannon has a good relationship with a vast majority of players in all the sports. Skip has made a career off of trolling, so now it isn't in Shannon's best interest to continue to stand next to that all the time. So I could see why after something like this he didn't show up the next day and just let that speak for him. His absence spoke loudly today. But man, hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.